What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Last time we left off, we switched perspectives to Edgeworth, and now we're going to continue the game, except you guys can't hear anything, so good on me for remembering to do that. Test. Okay, cool, we're good. February 9th, 9:47 a.m., District Court. Defendant Lobby, number 1. Oh, by the way, I think I'm gonna change the voice of this judge. Actually, now that it's supposed to be a different judge, so I think I'll change. No, I can't get the voice right. It's like, I don't think I'll. No. I don't know what to make his voice into. It'll be like, oh, blah blah blah. My judge voice is this, so it's not really that different. Maybe I'll do... I'm just gonna give him the judge voice, because I can't think of anything else, okay? Oh my, Mr. Elise feels that way about me? Apparently, though he isn't aware of your real secrets at all. There's no time to be embarrassed. I'm sorry, I just hardly accustomed to that sort of thing. Worry not, and in any case, whatever it was he saw on the night of the incident, mark my words, I will drag it out of him. Does that mean Mr. Elise will be in the witness stand today? No. I believe that nun will be the first to take the stand. Sister Bikini. She claims to have seen the very instant in which you carried out the crime. I just want to ask you one last time. It really wasn't you who killed Miss Elise Denim, correct? That's correct. It wasn't me. Very well then. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? You are a prosecutor, aren't you? Are you sure about this? If your true identity is revealed... Don't worry. I've taken the necessary steps. You have? Iris. It is a prosecutor's job to doubt people. But right now, I am a defense attorney. A defense attorney's job is to believe in people, and to believe until the bitter end. That's what a friend of mine told me once. Oh, I'm getting the biggest smile right now. Oh, such character development. I love you so much, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, you may pass judgment on me from the defendant's chair. You are the one to decide whether or not I am able to do the task I have been entrusted. Very well, sir. I leave my defense in your capable hands. Oh my god, I love this game. I love that they did this to Edgeworth. I love it so much. Oh, I've grown a little bit older. Wow, except I don't look any different. Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. Maybe I'll just do something like that. Try and make him sound like a little bit different without going too overboard with differentness. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The defense does indeed appear to be ready. However, the same cannot be said for the prosecution in this case. Maybe I'll do that. Indeed. I'm not sure I like such a blatant waste of this court's time. An empty prosecutor's chair can only mean that the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove their case. It would seem this case is already over before it had a chance to begin. I'm ready to announce my verdict at this time. This court finds the defendant... No! No way! The prosecution stands ready. And you are? Franziska von Karma, prosecuting prodigy. Von Karma, you say? Perchance, you wouldn't be of any relation to the legendary prosecutor Manfred von Karma. Legends are a thing of the past. I am a von Karma, that is all. Upon a special request, I flew in today for the purposes of prosecuting this case. You did? Then you must be quite a big shot, eh? By the way, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor? I'm almost certain that I've seen you somewhere before, or am I just imagining things? You look very much like a prosecutor I met once. I believe you are imagining things, Your Honor. Miss Von Karma, do you have anything to say? There is no such weakling as this man among those of the prosecutor's office. There isn't? But I'm sure, once before in this courtroom... Ah! I told you there is no such weakling. What is that? A whip? I'm not sure I care for such a thing in my courtroom. This has just become the gumshoe voice. Belief, remove that whip I have no objection to the whip. You don't? Prosecution can wield the whip or drink 17 cups of coffee. But there's still only one truth. That is what I stand here to prove today. Oh, I can't believe it. This promises to be interesting, Miles Edgeworth. I'd expected to face Phoenix Wright here today. But looking at you now, maybe this is what I have been waiting for all this time. Miles Edgeworth, I will not allow this chance to crush you slip through my fingers. I see you brought your flair for the histrionic. Allow me to add to the things I'm not sure about. People acting bizarrely in my courtroom. The stage is set. Now continue with the proceedings, Your Honor. Very well. Miss Von Karma, please give an outline of this case, with as little whipping as possible. The murder victim is the famed picture book author, Miss Elise Nim. Her body was found in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. She'd been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue. The sword in this picture is the weapon in question, correct? Very well. This court accepts this photo of the crime scene. Okay. Wow, we have a lot of evidence in this case. There's no mistake. This was the doing of Sister Iris. After all, there's a witness to her crime. Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand. And so it begins, my first and my last trial as a defense attorney. Well, Miles Edgeworth might have something to say to you, but Witness, state your name and occupation, please. Hold on here. I'm not sure about being not sure if I care for this at all. Wait, what? Witness, please stand up nice and straight. If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for witnesses with bad backs. Leaf, fetch a crate for this poor lady, please. Once again, your name and occupation, please. Little old me. Well, I'm the head nun of Hazakura Temple of Eagle Mountain. My name... Right, it was a bit more. My name's Bikini. Got it? Bikini. Nice to meet you, everybody. Courtroom is the guardian and hold judgment. You want me to leave? Let me tell you, I'm excited to be home in summer. Whoa! Just dies. That was stupid. In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime take place on the night in question. That's right. I can still hardly believe it myself, to be honest. I keep forgetting the voice they gave me. Maybe I should... Yeah, I'm like too obsessed with this. I'm not changing the voice now. There's no way dear little Iris could do something like that. There's no way. I already forget. Let us hear what you have to say then. First, tell us about your own movements that night, eh? Witness testimony. That night, I was helping an acolyte with the training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently, so I left Iris to help the acolyte, and returned to the Hazakura Temple. There's no bath at the inner temple, you see, and I needed a long, hot soak. It was after I'd finished, just as I was heading back. That's when I saw it! So it was a simple coincidence that you found yourself returning to Hazakura Temple? Yes, you could say that. If my back hadn't been in so much pain, I would have stayed in the inner temple. That sounds like a pretty important statement she just made. There's only one problem with this testimony that I can see. And you're not about to fall at the first hurdle now, are you, Miles Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth, please begin your cross-examination. Okay. Oh! I've never seen anybody but Phoenix do that. Well, besides Mia, but whatever. Oh, okay. That was a lot easier than I thought it was. Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on their powers as observation and memory, after all. Well. Don't worry. I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of faith, after all. The head honcho of Hazakura Temple. In that case, Miss Honcho, I'd like you to explain something to me. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant, Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all. No! She said that? A defendant or a witness? Who is more likely to lie, do you suppose? The defendant is simply lying to cover her back. But that is completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazakura Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would have made for a much better alibi. But that is odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe that she would lie. She does indeed have honest eyes. Ah! All people lie. That is my belief. Why am I the only one being whipped in here? Cause she ain't gonna whip Edgeworth, are you kidding me? Anyway, neither the witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie, which means We must call your memory into question. Dear, dear, dear. You're older than me, and yet you want to play that game, do you? Well, isn't that exactly what My memory is perfect, crystal clear, especially in winter. Then, I suppose it's too early to end this cross-examination, eh? Mr. Edgeworth, if you're going to question the memory of this witness, you will need to show a more decisive piece of evidence. Understood, Your Honor. I was naive to think that alone would do the trick. And please, add your comments about a boot. I think that's a typo. And please add your comments a boot iris to the Sorry. And let us return to the cross-examination. That night, I was helping Acolyte with her training in the Iron Temple, but Iris came to the Iron Temple. She was dressed exactly as she had been at dinner. That is incorrect because she wasn't wearing this hood. Yeah, boom. This is easy peasy. Witness, let's get one thing straight. The defendant whom you claim to have met, she was wearing this demon warding hood, correct? Of course! That is a very important piece of clothing. I'll have you know. Wait a minute.
Objection!
Hold it right there. Why do you have that? That's the question of the day now, isn't it, Miss Von Karma? I'll have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night, before the lights out bell was rung. What? You know where I'm going with this, don't you? If the witness had seen the defendant as she claims, the defendant couldn't have been wearing this very hood. Well. Oh my gosh, you're totally guilty. It's not a bad feeling at all, exposing contradictions like this. Now I understand that happy look on Wright's face every time he does it. Order in the court. Witness, Sister, this hood. You spare ones around the temple, don't you? Spares? Well, I do tend to make too many of them. I see, a stockpile, a surplus of hoods, eh? Each nun is only given one hood. This shouldn't be the only hood that Iris owned. Then this is quite strange. If there was a surplus of hoods, then she could have worn one of those. There's no contradiction here. I'm sorry to break this to you, Miss Von Karma, but you won't get away that easily. Discrepancies such as this will sow seeds in any human heart. The seeds of doubt. Witness, while I don't wish to call your testimony to doubt, you must give every detail with precision. I'm not sure I'm comfortable going along with this. Sister, you shall continue with your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath on your way back to the Inner Temple. Those seeds of doubt are sprouting in the judge's heart. They just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. Contradictory stimulation. I can read. Be quiet. I finished my bath around 11 and I thought I should return to the Inner Temple. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look and Iris was, Mystic Elise! And with that sword of all things! Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room, which faces out onto the courtyard. Stabbing us all must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window. Okay. You saw a truly terrible sight, didn't you? If I was in your place, then it would be much like Miss Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeworth in court. And me, seeing it all from this very chair. Well, something like that. This judge, his imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe. Maybe it fits I'm giving him this voice then. At the end, he just takes off the wig. It was me, Gumshoe, all along. I would look the fool if I commented on such foolishness. Anyway, this case is mine, Miles Edgeworth. Calling everyone by their full name. Can't you do something about that habit of yours? Boom. Cross-examination. I don't know what the game is. Oh my, stop being laggy. Be a good game. Or I guess a good computer. I mean DS. A very good DS that is real and definitely not an emulator.
Hold it!
This is the second time that witnesses testified to seeing the defendant, but some doubt remains in these claims. Hey, just what does that mean? Just because you're a good-looking young man doesn't give you the right to... The murderer stabbed the victim with a sword. Sister Bikini, try to recall exactly who it was you saw as clearly as you can. Well... You're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. Oh, now that you mention it, there was something awfully strange about her. Something that's been bugging me all this time. Please don't keep us in suspense. Her hood! Her hood? That's right. It's coming back to me. Iris, she wasn't wearing her hood. I thought something was out of place, but it all makes sense now, doesn't it? After all, she'd given that hood away to someone, right? Ha! You've dug your own grave, Miles Edgeworth. What do you say, Mr. Edgeworth? Is this testimony important? This may initially appear to put me at a disadvantage, but I can't see any other leads at the moment. Your Honor, I would like these new statements to be added to the testimony. Miles Edgeworth, if you want to hang yourself, you need only to ask. I'll gladly lend you my whip. Wow, okay. That wouldn't be allowed in 2018. Witness, add that statement to your testimony. No problem. I should mention it, Iris didn't have her hood on. Objection! Wait. No, that doesn't make sense. Oh, I was being so dumb. I didn't check the autopsy report. Oh, that took me way longer than it should have. I'm not even gonna lie. Impressive logic. That's what I would like to say anyway. Oh, please do. My brain is something else, especially in winter. However, I think you're overlooking one thing. Miss Von Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report? The autopsy report? The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed. That's right. It says after death right here. The scene the witness claims to have seen is contradictory. If the defendant stabbed and killed the victim there in the courtyard, how did the victim then go on to take a 10-foot fall? Oh, order! Order! The victim was killed and then fell. If that is the case, then the victim must have been killed in her room. Don't you agree? That is the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room, and she was then thrown out of her window down into the courtyard below. Were there any signs of a struggle in Mr. Nim's room? She was stabbed with a sword. That would leave a blood stain, wouldn't you agree? Well, Miss Von Karma, was there any blood? Ah! No traces of blood were found in the victim's room. Your whip has just caused traces of blood to be found in my glorious playoff beard. However, there was no blood in the room. Then your claim that... Ah! I'm sure there's no need for me to go over this, as I'm sure Your Honor is well aware of when a stab wound produces the most blood. When it produces the most blood, very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed. Indeed, with the weapon still in place, it acts like a lid on the wound. That's true. With the weapon still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. A perfectly reasonable line of thinking. We've come to a conclusion then. The victim was thrown out of the window with the sword still in place. This removes all of the contradictions. I'm gonna have to say no to that. Order! 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 I must admit this is a probable version of events. I expect no less from Franziska von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point. It seems that we need a clearer testimony from the witness. Remove all supposition on your part and tell us only the truth, please. Witness, please, remain standing on the crate. Don't go selling me short now. The weight of winter snow has bent me out of shape, especially my back and my mood. Sister, please give us your testimony. I will give you a vigorous massage once we are finished here. With the whip? Oh, boy. All right. It's a hell of a feeling, though. What the heck? When I looked across at the steam, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. I have never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. Can't blame me, can you? And when I awoke, Mystic Amy was... stabbing... Mystic Amy? Oh, yeah, sorry. Stabbing Mystic Elise through the back. Okay, but... this all confirms Miss Von Karma's theory. Von Karma strive for nothing but perfection. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Miles Edgeworth. Perfection is an impossibility, Franziska. And I'm here to teach you just that. Oh, snap. We're just going straight into it. Wa-boom! Do-do, boom, boom, boom. So you're saying that you saw the victim's blood? That's right. Some of it is splattered onto Iris, too. When the defendant was arrested, she was meditating in her room, and her blood-fleckered clothing was neatly folded in the corner. What? Clothes with blood flecked as well? That seems quite conclusive to me. What should I do? Press this point further? Going back to your previous statement, you said that you saw little bleeding when the victim was stabbed, but now you say you saw the victim bleeding? Well, I say that what I saw is what I saw. What did you see? Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed, but I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day. Pulling the sword out? Well, it wasn't exactly pulling. It was more like came out. Witness, you will add this statement to your testimony. Oh, was that important? More important than you can imagine. I saw the instant in which the blade plunged into the hilt was smoothly drawn out. So I think it's that the fact the blade, like look at the blood, it's only up to this point. It wouldn't make sense if the entire thing. Yeah, okay. Sister Bikini, you're a reliable witness. At least I'd like to think so, but there are too many contradictions here. What do you mean? Make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. What contradictions are you talking about? In the scene that the witness claims to have seen, the weapon was thrust up to the hilt in its victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities. What do you mean? Please, explain Explain yourself! Starwood, do you think it would be possible to stab somebody to the hilt with this? No matter how you look at it. Look at the defendant. She doesn't appear strong enough for that. Doesn't appear? What meaningless dribble. I too may appear to be weak and frail, but I can crush men under my heel and make them weep, should I so choose. The objection stands. I wept a little back there, I must admit. That isn't the only issue here. If this sword was truly stabbed into the body up to the hilt, well, just look at the branches on it. Certainly wouldn't come out smoothly. We also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when a blade is left in a body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop from bleeding. That's nothing more than conjecture. In reality, the victim was stabbed with a shichishito. Even a weapon of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly and may sometimes stop the blood loss. I'm not finished. There is still one more conclusive contradiction. You've still got more? This one is simple. If this sword really was thrust in all the way to the hilt, why is there only blood on the tip of it? If this witness is telling the truth, then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword. No! No! Order! Bravo, Miles Edgeworth. Raising this many contradictions from a single piece of evidence. All the other attorneys I know could maybe manage one, if that. But what does this all mean? You've proven contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but having come this far, there can only be one answer. And that is... the weapon used to kill the victim was not the shichishito. What? A foolish idea born from the foolish mind of a foolhardy foolish fool. Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think the sword was the murder weapon? Well, it's because Mr. Gamey was holding it. Exactly. However, if you reflect on this, that is the only basis we have to assume such a thing. The impression left by the scene was just too strong. That is what influenced us. It influenced us to believe that the shichishito was the murder weapon. Order! So maybe the shichishito was not the murder weapon. Even if that is the case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeworth. The sister here saw everything. She saw the defendant stab the victim with a sword-like object. That's true. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth? If that is so, I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises. The obvious question? Yes, namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to? It goes without saying that the police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us as to if a sword-like object was found. That's... Answer the question, Miss Von Karma. No evidence of that kind was found. Another mystery to throw into the pile. Trial without a murder weapon is a tricky beast. Excuse me, could I say something? I just remembered something, actually. What is it, sister? I was just thinking, it's possible that just maybe what actually happened was... It was just over there. What exactly are you going on about here? The murder weapon, I mean. Maybe... I think I might know where the sword was disposed of. You what? Well then, I think we need to hear testimony from you one more time, sister. Impossible! What else? What else could this old woman have seen? I love it when Edgeworth is like, what? I saw the murder around 11 p.m. And after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there I saw tracks. Tracks that indicated a snowmobile had been used. It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out? Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile after all. Witness, please tell us everything you know right away next time. Well, I'm not in the best of shape. What with my back and my age, you know? Quite. There were indeed snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. Here's a photograph. Snowmobile, eh? I see. Well, it certainly is an interesting theory. The tracks begin in front of Hazakura Temple and run all the way to Dusky Bridge. That solves your pesky little problem, yes? The Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in winter, making it the perfect place to dispose of the murder weapon. Did she really go to the river to dispose of the murder weapon? Mr. Edgeworth, your cross-examination, please. Oh, God. I don't know. Okay, I have no idea why this is right. I admit this photograph proves something. Proves that the snowmobile was used on the night of the murder. You finally accept the inevitable, it seems, Miles Edgeworth. However, if what the witness says is true, why is there only one set of tracks? Oh my God, I'm such an idiot. Why didn't I think of that? Oh. God dang it. God, I feel really dumb for not realizing that. What do you mean? Iris left Hazakura Temple, threw the weapon into the river, and then returned. If this was the case, then naturally there should be two sets of tracks in the snow, those from heading out to the bridge and those from coming back. Ah, you're right! You aren't forgetting one thing, Miles Edgeworth. On the night of the murder, it was snowing. The tracks leading to the bridge were erased by the snowfall. This removes your precious contradiction now, doesn't it? I see. While she was at the river, the snow stopped. I jumped in the old judge voice for a second there, leaving just the return tracks in the snow. What do you have to say now, Miles Edgeworth? Is there a flaw in a theory? This idea that the snowfall covered one set of tracks. Tracks to the river were covered by snow. What a nice theory. However, Miss Von Karma, that is impossible. Would you care to explain why there is a rude index finger currently pointing in my general direction? No need. The evidence will do all the talking for me. On the night of the murder, the killer went to and returned from Dusky Bridge. In order to dispose of the murder weapon, the outgoing tracks were erased by snow, or so claims Miss Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth, present your evidence to the contrary, eh? Evidence that the outgoing tracks were not covered by snow. Take that. Witness, please tell us again what time it was when you witnessed the crime. Like I said, it was around 11. Of course. This means that the weapon was thrown away after that time, correct? On that note, please take a look at this data. Okay, I was really scared about this, but it works. Cool. It is the weather report for Eagle Mountain on the night of the murder. The weather report? Snow started to fall at 7 p.m., but it stopped at around 10:50. Therefore, when the sister witnessed the crime at 11 p.m., the snow had already stopped falling. It is impossible for any tracks to have been made after that time to have been covered up. Oh my god, you're totally guilty. We should just kill her now. Oh, order! Order! Very well then. It looks like Miss Von Karma's claim has been snowed in. Ah! It's too soon to be closing this trial due to snow. Miles Edgeworth, how pathetic of you to rely on weather of all things. Answer me this then. When is a weather report ever correct? Ah, no, you've got it all wrong. This isn't a forecast, this is actual data. Ah! Forecast data, all weather reports have some inaccuracies. It may have still been snowing in the vicinity well past 11 p.m. It's true, we can't be totally sure, eh? What? How did she pull that off? And it stopped snowing at Hazakura Temple when the murder took place. You need to provide conclusive evidence of this. I've come this far. There's no turning back now. Very well. I too cannot allow any doubt to remain concerning this testimony. Ha! You can't back down, can you? Such a perfectionist, Miles Edgeworth. Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. Where is your evidence that it had already stopped snowing when the victim was killed? The only thing I can think of is like the fact that... Oh, I think I got it. Ultimately, it all comes down to one point. That being, whether or not it was snowing in that courtyard when the victim was stabbed. That's right, but proving that is... incredibly easy. If we want to know whether it was snowing or not, this photo will tell us everything. Of course, I'm referring to the photo of the crime scene. Not a single drop of snow on it. As you can see, everything is covered with snow, with just one exception, and that is... the victim herself, Miss Elise Denim. Why is there no snow on top of her? The answer is simple. It had stopped snowing when she was killed. That's why. Gah. In other words, if the killer really did go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon, then in this photograph, there should be 2 sets of tracks. Ah! Order! Order! Just what are you... Ah! Just what are you suggesting, Miles Edgeworth? To be honest, I'm not entirely sure myself, but this is simply what all the facts point to. That night, someone used a snowmobile to leave Hazakura Temple. From the tracks left, it can be understood that they were heading for Dusky Bridge. At that time, it was still snowing. Of course it was, because those tracks were gone. Then, when this person returned to Hazakura Temple, the snow had stopped. Thus, the return tracks remained. Can I say something? This all sounds a bit fishy to me. What does, sister? There's only one key for the snowmobile. Furthermore, on the night in question, we know that the defendant had it. The key was found in her room after the murder. Which can only mean that night, Iris used a snowmobile to go to the inner temple. But Iris said that she never went there. I should probably press on this point some more when I get the chance. Snowmobile can't cross the suspension bridge, so she must have left it on the Hazakura side of the bridge and crossed on foot. That sounds right, but what's odd is when I left Iris and returned to Hazakura Temple, I didn't see anything near Dusky Bridge. You must have just failed to see it, sister. Maybe, but when I made it to Hazakura Temple, it was there, by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. I know what I saw. It was covered in snow, too. But that is impossible! Order! Order! Order in the court! What does this all mean? So then, what was the snowmobile used for? It wasn't taken by the defendant when she went to the inner temple. If it had been, then the witness couldn't possibly have seen it by the gate. Furthermore, it wasn't used by the killer to dispose of the murder weapon. If that was the case, there should be 2 sets of tracks in this photo. All we know is this. After it stopped snowing, Someone used the snowmobile to return to Hazakura Temple. I never thought a simple snowmobile could cause so much trouble. I think we've arrived at this point due to the witness. Yes, I have nothing more to add. I've told you everything that I know. Well then, that still leaves us with the same problem. If only there was someone, a witness who could testify to having seen the snowmobile. A witness, huh? Was there no one out walking perhaps near Dusky Bridge on that night? I don't think that's likely. It was cold enough to freeze your ears off. Only an idiot would go out wandering in that. Unless they had something really important to do. That's a shame. Hold on. Something is coming to me. An idiot may have well gone out wandering that night. Fiona, I actually have an idea. There may be one individual able to help us. Really? You know of someone who might have seen the snowmobile on the night of the murder? I don't know for sure if he saw it or not, but there are two things about him that do come to mind, which are, first, that he saw something incredible on the night of the murder, and the second being, this individual that I am thinking of when wandering outside on that cold night. In other words, he is our kind of idiot. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this idiot that you're talking about? I'm not even going to save for this. Are you kidding me? Larry! This guy must be a product of Jean-Luc de Leduc's Guide to Obnoxious French Painting. This is Larry Butts, the student of the victim, Elise Denim. Her student? Interesting. Why was he wandering on the night of the murder? That's... I could tell him all about his designs for Iris, but it may cost us his credibility as a witness before I even call him. He is, after all, an artist. He was perhaps searching for something in the snowy scenery that would move him, although I cannot guarantee that this is the reason. And so, this unfortunate, unreliable-looking man, what exactly was it that he saw? I intend to extract that from him right here in this courtroom. Summon this youth as a witness immediately. I have no choice, do I? I believe he's in the gallery for this trial. It will not take long to summon him. Very well. Larry, you may have escaped me yesterday, but today I'm going to get everything out of you. The court will now adjourn for a 20-minute break. Miss Von Karma, please see to preparing the next witness. Understood, Your Honor. Good. Well then, court is now in recess. Woo! That took me way longer than it probably should have, and this video is going to be a lot shorter than it is recording. We're about an hour into this, so I'm sure it'll be cut down to at least 45 minutes by the time I'm done editing all the stupid stuff I didn't click on. Anyways, I'm going to end this episode here for now. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, stick around and see more of this awesome game, as well as Spider-Man and the Secret series that'll start eventually. And yeah, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the future, probably tomorrow, hopefully, maybe. Peace out!